And one of the things that I think is unique to Asheville is that the African American community is really dispersed around the city. So it's not like other places that you go to. Like, you know, I lived in Raleigh for more than 20 years. Part of the time that I was away from here was in Virginia, and then back to the Raleigh area in eastern North Carolina, where the state capital is. And you know, in those communities, you could take a number of communities like Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Durham, and Raleigh. And the one thing that you notice about those communities is that there is a area of those cities where historically the black community existed. Like in Raleigh is Southeast Raleigh and these other cities. But Asheville doesn't have that. So you have these communities that are dispersed around the city and the county. So Shiloh is the community where I grew up. But it would come downtown, and quite often, my father is a minister here. We used to come into the downtown area. This would be in the 1970s and up into the 80s, mostly just to get our hair cut. And the one thing that you notice is that there was one area of downtown Asheville, the East End community, where the YMI is. You know, we'll probably talk about that at some point, where traditionally that had been a vibrant African American community, especially in the day of my dad's youth. My mother and father grew up here, but when I was growing up, it was a community that really had been, that particular community, the East End community, had been displaced through urban renewal. So when I was growing up here, I didn't see many African Americans downtown, in the downtown area of Asheville. We generally stayed in those dispersed communities where we lived and grew up.